Hello, sixth graders. All right, so we're going to start a new unit today. This information will cover the stuff you answered on the pretest yesterday. It will have notes and terms, so you may need a notebook. And however you're going to store this, you can write it down. You can keep it on your iPad. You can refer back to this video. It is proven that if you will write it down, it helps you remember it. So that's what I'm going to recommend. Just make sure you have access to this information one way or another. All right, let's get started. Okay, so in this unit, we are going to be working on analyzing text. So we're going to analyze how a particular, I'm going to move this, let's see, analyze how a particular sentence, paragraph, chapter, or section fits into the overall structure of a text and contributes to the development of the ideas. Okay. Next is our goals. So our goals, don't worry about writing this down. I'll tell you when you should write something down. Our goals, we want to be able to, again, analyze the text, especially how portions of the text contribute to the overall structure of the text. Okay? So we're going to be looking at specific sentences or paragraphs or chapters and then saying how that's going to fit in the overall book, passage, article, whatever it is we're reading. We need to be able to compare and contrast the overall structure. These are terms you're going to see on the next slide. Chronology, comparison, cause effect, problem solution of the events, ideas, concepts, or information in two or more texts. So it's just about comparing and contrasting. You guys kind of know that, but we need to be able to know the chronological comparison, cause effect, problem solution type stuff. The last one, we want to be able to analyze the structure an author uses to organize the text, including how the major sections contribute to the whole and to the development of the ideas. This is kind of restating the top bullet point. We just want to be able to understand how it all fits together. Okay? Okay, so your terms, be ready to write or whatever. Go ahead and pause the video, whatever you need to do to get this information. The first one, the way an author organizes a text, that is called the text structure. Okay, again, chronologically, sequence, cause and effect, problem solution, compare and contrast. There are those five. Those are the five we are going to go over. Okay. Compare contrast. This is the evaluation of similarities and differences. We've done tons of compare contrast. Think about the Westingame video that we watched next to the Westingame book. So we're going to write how are they the same, how are they different, and those types of things, and not just between things that are like the Westingame. That's the same story, just written twice, right? But we're going to be able to compare different texts and see what's the same about them. Chronological, a record of events explained in the order in which they occur. All right. So anytime you're getting like the history of something and it's saying this happened first and then this is kind of how it continued and how it progressed, anytime you're getting dates, that often is going to be chronological. Okay. Again, these are all different ways that the text can be structured. Compare, contrast, chronological. Our next one is sequence, a particular order in which related events, movements, or things follow each other. Okay, sequence. So first, second, third, fourth. Okay, sequence of related events. Take note of that, related events. So these two, we're going to probably work a little bit because those ones seem a little bit similar. We'll work on some ways to distinguish those. Just make sure you have them written down. Our next term is cause and effect. The principle of causation, that when one event occurs, then another one happens, right? So you have basically the coronavirus, okay? Because of the coronavirus hit the United States, the effect is now that we are all on quarantine or homebound, basically, okay? Problem solution, an issue and how it is resolved. So, I have a problem that my lawn is dry. How am I going to resolve it? I am going to water my grass. Okay. The last one is analyze. Now, this is not a text structure. This is just what we are trying to do. We are trying to examine methodically and in detail the constitution or structure of something. So we are analyzing these structures, these 5 structures, typically for the purpose of explanation and interpretation. So the better we can analyze and know what these structures are like, the better we can interpret and explain these texts if we need to. Okay? All right. So right now I'm going to go over the examples of the pretest. So just a heads up on all of this. You will be given participation grade on the pretest because this is not information that you have been taught. I want to know where you're at with it. I want to know what you know so I can better address some of the things that we don't know. So if you took the test, you get the points, right? It doesn't matter how well you did on it. However, please go through this next part with me because this information is going to help you on future assignments and tests, and those you will be graded on how well you do on them. Okay, so this one, the question, this is number 1. How is this text organized? So this is the one about brackish water, seawater. Okay, how is it organized? So if you look in here, you can see we're talking about differences, a difference between the 3, salt, fresh, brackish water, and then it goes on to tell the differences. So this is a compare contrast. Okay, number 1 was a compare contrast because it's talking about those different types of water. Okay, number 2, in the text, the sentence says they occur where the land and ocean meet and create a sort of buffer zone to protect the land from storm surges such as hurricanes. Why is this in the text? This is there in order to and the answer was explain the function of mangroves. Okay, that is why that portion is there, to explain the function of mangroves. Okay, the central idea, this is something that we've done in the past, so I hope you all got this. Now, if you remember, a lot of times you can find the central or main idea based on the title or first sentences. So if you were to look back at the title, is brackish water, seawater. Okay, now let's go to the next one. So the central idea is to explain what brackish water is. Brackish water, that's what we're trying to understand, and it shows that in that title. Okay, this one, how is the text organized? This gives the story of the Brooklyn Bridge, if you remember. If you notice, you see a lot of dates in here. You kind of have what happened at the beginning, how it all started, how did they progress, what happened next. So this one is chronologically. This gives you, please notice the dates. That's a key pointer on this one. The dates show that it is chronological. This should say question 5 and question 6, not 36. Okay, question 5. How can the reader determine the structure of text too? So you know that you're looking at those dates, right? So that one says just that. Sequence of events identified by specific dates. Okay, number 6. What is the purpose for stating for many years it remained the tallest structure in the Western world? If you were to go back and reread that, it was a pretty magnificent feat building this Brooklyn Bridge, and a lot of sacrifice went into it. So here they are trying to show the impressiveness and enormous nature of the bridge. Okay. Okay. Question 7. The common thread between the 2 passages is brackish water, seawater, and the construction of the Brooklyn Bridge is. Now, these ones, you can rule out a lot of things. Man-made constructs, you know that brackish water is not a man-made construct, so you know that's out. Informational text, okay, let's take a look at that one. John Roebling, if you look back, John Roebling was just in the Brooklyn Bridge one, so that you have to rule that one out. Now, Florida projects, are they both Florida projects and issues? Where's the Brooklyn Bridge? It's in New York, right? So that is definitely out. So we know that these are both informational texts that mention bodies of water. So that is your correct answer there. Okay, so that is how we analyze. The structure of text, that is just the overview of the notes and the pretest. Please make sure you have those notes written down one way or another and can refer back to them. Tomorrow's assignment will ask you to use those concepts one more time, and then we'll keep practicing. Hope you all are doing fabulously, and I will see you soon.